Welcome, everyone. I'm Bonnie Low-Kramen, your host for Heads Together. And I'm here with Jennifer Wilner, as I have been since June 24th, 2020. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We get to say happy Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday. This is our finale show today. And in preparation for today, I was feeling all kinds of things. Like I was feeling a little sad and feeling happy and feeling like this is really right about how we're going to be proceeding. So, so Jen, I went and watched our first show a little bit ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Welcome to our viewer from Minneapolis. Welcome to the show today. So today is our final weekly show of Heads Together. And next week we are moving to a monthly format. We begin that Thursday, April 14th. And we're calling that community the Staff Matters community. So this is a kind of a bittersweet day. We had a little bit of a rocky time that very first show, Jen. Do you remember?
Not really. Time a long way, baby, as they say.
Yeah, June 24th, 2020. That was our first show. We had some technical difficulties. I think we heard each other twice. We were still getting used to StreamYard. And welcome to everyone in the show today. Hi, Stormy. Welcome to the show. Oh, hi, Megan. Happy to see you. Along the way, and Elizabeth Peters, I love having you here. Shiva, hi. It feels like this group every Wednesday has been on the front lines of hearing like the latest news, the latest updates on what's happening in the community, or as far as Jen and I have found out. And, doing this show live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube really helped our learning curve. That's when I understood that's the reason to be on LinkedIn Premium and pay my $79.99 a month to be a part of that, to be live on LinkedIn. And then we also learned about, Jen, you're the one who discovered StreamYard.
Yeah.
Had you already been working on StreamYard when we?
So I was working on StreamYard with my other company.
Yeah.
But not to this capacity.
Right. So, we learned along the way. And as we were learning, I like to think our community was learning, the latest, the newest. And I really have to give a shout out to Robert Sanders, my partner, who you mostly all of you know. And Robert's the one who said, after this pandemic hit, he said, because I was thinking, how am I going to communicate with the community? Because all my live presentations were being canceled left and right. And I remember one of my first instincts when that pandemic hit in March of 2020 was, how are we going to bring the community together? That I was frightened. I was frightened about all the assistants in the world who are going to be sent home in 5 minutes, with very little notice, and be alone. Yay, Robert, if he's watching, he could be watching from 20 feet away down the hallway. But I want to welcome everybody onto the show today. Really happy you're here for our finale as we reflect back on the last couple of years, which has gone so fast. Jen, what has doing this meant to you?
Oh,
as I dragged you in, Jen, I have this crazy idea. Would you do the show with me?
Yeah, sure. I'm not afraid of the camera. Honestly, all right, no crying. It's been a wonderful opportunity, and I've loved that we've been able to connect with our assistants and of all levels around the world. It's been wonderful to have these kind of conversations like this. But I also have to tell you that I got to give you a pat on the back that you're always talking about asking for a seat at the table and telling, coaching executives that they need to invite their assistants into the process. And, this is like me being in production, the production process. God, I hope my daughter's not watching. And so I love it. I love it. But I think a big part of it was like 2 years ago when everybody was sent home and it was like, okay, you're used to coming to work and you have your space, you have your environment, you have your office. And then it was like, okay, go home and work and then be productive and everything.
In a minute.
In a minute. Right. In a moment's notice. So I was working from home, as a lot of you know. I've been working from home for like 15 years. But when Superstorm Ida, hit New Jersey and my home office got flooded, my in a minute was coming to an unfamiliar office space doing this. And
you
so
could relate. You could really relate.
I could relate on that perspective. Yeah, getting used to different stuff, and I still have not put a single thing in the drawers.
What, in the substitute space?
In this space, not a single thing is in a drawer because I want to be able to pick everything up and run. And wow,
run, not walk, run. So, and guess what? Robert Sanders is on the call today. Good for you, Robert. Thank you so much for helping us. He giving us a shout out for our team effort for the last 80 weeks. Well, and Mary Alaniz is here. It feels like I'd always felt like we're having a big party every Wednesday and I don't have to cook. It's just like the best. Each week for the last few weeks, we've been talking about Ukraine towards the top of the show, and Jen helped me today. We have a celebratory background, but we also are giving homage and acknowledgement and support to our friends in Ukraine who, the news keeps getting worse and worse, it seems. And it's so clear that isn't this how life goes, where you have some amazingly wonderful things happening at the same time that there's a horror show going on globally. The pandemic certainly was that. The war in Ukraine is that. But then it gets even more micro level, because in any person's life, isn't it true that we could have wonderful things happening, but at the same time, there are the challenges, there are the sadder parts, and it makes it feel better to gather and to process some of this stuff that is going on. So, and I've appreciated this show for that opportunity, because I got to share with each of you. Hi, Lindsay Robinson, our guest. Jen went ahead and she invited every guest we ever had on Heads Together from the very beginning. And Lindsay Robinson was with us just a few weeks ago. Welcome, Lindsay, to the show. Yeah. We're talking about these last couple of years and how time has flown and what we've learned from the process. I got to share the whole TEDx experience with you. We got to give each other updates on the pandemic and who was going back and what the latest news was. Stephanie Hand has a lovely comment that the first session was a lifesaver. I was feeling quite alone and worried. Thank you, Stephanie. That was my instinct. I was like, oh my gosh, the isolation that people are going to feel by just going home. And, the cat, the dog, whatever.
Right.
And what is absolutely true is when, we did BTUA New York City, March 5th and 6th. And then I was in Toronto doing an ELS forum on March 11th. And it was then that the word was really in the news that this thing was going to be bad. And in my head, I just knew it was going to be long. People were saying, oh, it's going to be 1 week, 2 weeks. And every ounce of me was on red alert thinking, oh God, we have a huge problem here. Like this is going to be like a tsunami. And it was, and it certainly was. Oh, Deborah, thank you, Deborah, for your comment that you, our listeners and viewers, have been sharing with us what this show has meant to you. And Deborah said, anytime that I've been able to join around meetings has been so encouraging. What we've aimed to do is give solid information, and that is not going to stop. We certainly, hi Sharon, so great having you here. The community you've created has helped each of us feel like we're not alone. So grateful for our connection. Agreed. Vicki Evans and I we're up to 51 BTUAs over the last 11 years. And of course, we have a survey afterwards. And one of the comments that has come up again and again and again is that it's just so nice to know that you're not alone.
Right.
None of us want to feel like we're alone in this challenging workplace we've got. And oh man, the challenges just keep coming. It's changed a lot in 2 years, and it's continuing to change. And I've been able to share with Jen and everyone on the show some of the latest research that I'm gathering from leaders and HR people. I was visiting our first show, but also looking back over some of the other shows. And Jen went ahead and invited all of our guests onto the show today. But I'm really proud of who we've brought into the show to share your expertise, people like Lindsay Robinson and Amber Clayton from SHRM, from Human Resources Managers. That was one of the highest rated shows, where she came on to actually explain to us why some people are paid hourly and why some people are paid by salary.
Yeah.
Which had puzzled me forever. And now, this show gave us an opportunity to call up the experts and say, hey, can you come explain this for us? Right. So happy that we're getting folks with Staff Matters. Heads Together pushed me out of my comfort zone in the most wonderful way. Erin, this is so awesome. I was a person that was just fine going home. It was so important to understand this is not the case for all, and I could grow from reaching out. Oh, Erin, thank you for sharing that. That's great feedback. It has been amazingly gratifying to hear from many of you who say that Heads Together has been a lifeline. And I intend to keep offering free resources along with the paid resources. I mean, every person on this call understands we all have to make a living. We all have to pay our bills, right? And that's what I certainly want to do. But I asked Jen, if you can put up in the chat, we've got 2 upcoming free webinars coming up. One, and I love collaborating, as you've got to know this by now if you've watched me at all, between my collaboration with Jen and all of our guests, and you BTUAers know this. The first webinar is coming up next Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm collaborating with Claire Wasserman, the writer of the book Ladies Get Paid. And she watched my TEDx talk. And so we're going to be talking about the real reasons people quit. She's quite a powerhouse. And Jen's putting the link in there. So join us for that. Yep. And then the following week, I'm collaborating with Nancy Fox. Nancy Fox and I have known each other forever. I mean, from New York Celebrity Assistants. And on the 20th, Wednesday the 20th at noon Eastern Time, we're doing Show Me the Money, How to Make the Money You Deserve. Both the webinars I just mentioned are free, and they're going to be recorded, but you have to register to get the replay. So you know the drill. Really excited about collaborating with these experts as we, capitalize on the year of the employee. This is 2022 is being called the year of the employee.
Fantastic.
So, salaries are going up. I'm hearing that all over the place. Oh, I want to say that, and Jen, please put up any comments that you
of course
are running through. Oh, Tess, that's great news. I'm so glad that perhaps you'll join us for the webinars. I heard from an assistant in Ukraine. Oh, Thank you. Oh, Mary Ellenese. One session I'll never forget. Nadine King, one of the leaders in the Black community for assistance. And I had just gotten to know Nadine in the couple of months before we did the show. And I was so impressed with her. And it was a really good show.
It was a very good show.
She was so honest, and, we didn't shy away from the tough stuff. So what's cool is that these first 82 shows are going to live on my YouTube channel. Do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm trying to get to 1,000. I've got like 930 people right now. Something magical apparently happens when you get to be 1,000 subscribers. I digress. I heard from an assistant / project manager in Ukraine yesterday on LinkedIn, and she sent me her resume, and she's not looking for monetary donations. She's lost her job, and she's looking for work. She's looking to do remote assistant work. She knows coding. She knows HTML. And there's a Jewish word, a mitzvah. It would be a mitzvah to help Natalia out. If any of you are able to connect Natalia with work, remote work, where you can pay her, across the country, then let me know. Bonnie at BonnieLow-Kramen.com, and I will connect you with Natalia, and let's see if we can do a good deed.
Right. And there's a post, if you're all watching on LinkedIn. I can't share the link right now, but I can when the show's over. If you looked at Bonnie's LinkedIn profile, you'll find the post with the information also.
Yeah, it's the graphic I used for 2 polar bears hugging. Man, just when we thought the pandemic was the worst thing that ever could happen, it just seems to me like none of us knows if it could be our turn tomorrow, needing help. And I want to believe that if any one of us on this show needed support, that we could put out the word, and let's see what can happen. You never know. So I'm just checking my list for today. So glad to have you all here. It's, I just realized as my schedule got busier. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Tess, for being subscriber 934. You're awesome.
And of course, I didn't turn off my phone today. Technical issues. Let's see.
This is the way. This is real life.
Yeah, this is
unedited.
Thank you for being there through the pandemic. Yes, Anna, I know. So Jen and I were going over my schedule, and I realized I have 17 cities to go to between now and the end of the year. And on so many Wednesdays, I was going to be on a plane or speaking at a conference. And it just, it became so evident that the world is different now from March of 2020, and the situation changes. And we as assistants know that when the situation changes, then we have to pivot. And that was the word that we used, Jen, in that first episode, was that we were talking about pivoting. And I'd been in touch with recruiters who were their work had come to a screeching halt. And that we were talking about how assistants were going to have to be creative and use their skills as VAs. And creatively, it's so interesting to go back to listen to those episodes and see. Daniel Walters looking to connect with others on LinkedIn. Oh, good. Hi, Daniel. Welcome here to our finale show. And you will most definitely get connection requests. Hi, Sandy Knott. Sandy, we sure hope that new job is going well up there in Boston. Hey, there's Susan from New Jersey. So the plan is that do what you need to, Bonnie. We will find you. Yay! I love that. And that's what I came to, Deborah. Because Jen and Robert and me and Vicky, we talked about like, what's the best time? What's the best day of the week? And you know what? Thank goodness with the technology, with being able to record, that we need to follow what Olympia Dukakis used to say, which is, Bonnie, let me do one thing well, not two things badly. You know? And so it became clear the weekly format needed to go away. We're converting to Staff Matters as of next Thursday, 11 a.m. I have so many great ideas about how we're going to leverage that platform to talk about the important issues that are going on. We're going to be on Zoom, so we are going to be able to see each other and hear each other, which is what I frankly have been missing in this format. While I love seeing your names, I can hear your voices. So many of you I know personally, and I want to see you and hear you. So I love that. We will find you. We will find you. It's crazy. I've mentioned a few times on the show that I've been writing this book. And interestingly, you will not be surprised, the new book the main title is called Staff Matters. And the hope is that it's going to be published by the end of the year, or if I have to, into January of 2023, which sounds so crazy. And it is about the workplace, and it has really informed me about what's going on in the global workplace and where we are headed. So perhaps this is a good time to just say to everyone listening on this call right now that the workplace has undergone this massive shift since March of 2020. And leaders are still caught off guard. HR is still caught off guard. I speak with many assistants who report to and tell me that they're not busy enough, that they're not being, fully leveraged in their role, in part because their leaders are still recalibrating and figuring out this new thing. They don't have all the answers. So if you've been on this show before, then you've heard me say this before, that each and every one of you has an opportunity in your organization to look for those gaps, because they are still there. They're still there. Here we are in April of 2022, and the dust is still settling. There's just so much volatility in the workplace. One of our students was just named Employee of the Year at her company. I didn't get her permission to say her name, but if you're on the show today, congratulations. And that happened because she put up her hand and she did training with the team, technical training with the team during this pandemic in her downtime, because she wasn't as busy as she had been. And you know what? That Employee of the Year award was employee nominations. An executive assistant had never won it before. Never won it before.
Wow.
So that's one example, just one example of how assistants are leveraging their talents and skills. And Bob Sanders is weighing in from 25 feet away. Staff Matters Community that starts next Thursday will include Peer Board, which allows more collaboration between everyone, not just the monthly calls. Thanks, Robert, for adding that. Because here's the thing. Some of you know about Slack. Some of you know about Circle. Peer Board is our version of what that is to enable 24/7 communications. So I feel like all of this is a learning opportunity for each and every one of us. as we figure it out together.
Mhm.
What is very comforting is that when we do have technical issues, there's no group better to do it in front of than all of you.
No more forgiving group.
Yeah, no more forgiving group. So Anna looks like she has something substantive
Yeah.
to say. Why don't you read
We
that?
have Zoom socials with linemen, metermen, etc., as it's been easier for them to pull over and jump in their phones instead of driving to a specific location. And even though things are getting better, we will most likely continue to keep in touch virtually as well as in person going forward.
Excellent.
So,
You know, Anna, thanks for that point. It's been so clear that we have the creativity that has come out of the community because of the pandemic has been extraordinary. Who of us thought that you could do a cooking class on Zoom or a yoga class on Zoom or like
tour
there's
the Met.
what's that?
Tour the Met.
Well, yeah, we can get all these virtual tours, but it's incredible what we can accomplish. It's not only meetings and now there are those crazy well, maybe not so crazy. We can turn ourselves into interesting
The
characters.
filters, all the filters.
Right.
Good icebreakers. We'll just call them icebreakers.
So we've learned so much in these 2 years together. And, some of you are Zoom experts, some of you are Teams experts. It was interesting that many companies didn't even bring on Office 365 until January of 2020. So there was like this flurry of need for training. And so, Vicki Evans and Red Cape is just busier than ever because of how clear it is that technology has come to the forefront and is so needed. Happy hour on Zoom. Love that. Love that. They're such an amazing conversation. Oh, see you, Sharon. See you next time. See you on Staff Matters. There was one group for icebreakers to bring people together to have the connection. They took pictures of the inside of the refrigerators and then they tried to guess whose refrigerator it was. They had hat day or t-shirt day or bring your pet onto the screen day. Anything to
bring people together.
What's that, Jen?
Yeah, anything to bring people together and lighten the mood a little.
To connect.
Yeah.
I mean, you all know that I had the rapid fire questions for our guests to ask what have they binge watched and what's your favorite dessert and what's your favorite movie. It's truly a way that we can build rapport, because when rapport is built, that builds loyalty and retention. And, who wants to stay at a job if they don't feel any real human connection to the organization?
I love this.
What does Sandy say?
Today we had one of the leadership team playing piano in the lobby of our building with some cool snacks and coffee, gradually coming back to the office.
Yeah. So thanks, Sandy. Some assistants are reporting that it's feeling a little odd. It's kind of like flexing a muscle again that you haven't used in a while.
Remember to stretch.
What's that?
Remember to stretch.
And the commute of going into the office, and then what's the protocol? Are we wearing masks? Are we keeping our distance? I love these wristbands that we used in our workshops at B2UA in Houston and Colorado Springs. It says COVID-19 vaccinated, and there were we had green, yellow, and red wristbands. I think we're going to continue to use those for a while. I think,
I've seen some posts about somebody in our network on LinkedIn about like green meant like open to hug. And somebody else was like, oh, another color meant, I'm not ready, I'm here.
Right. Red means keep your distance. And so I think for a while, we're going to have to figure it out together. But you know what? If in doubt, ask. When Ike Saunders was our guest on this show, and he talked about pronouns, the use of pronouns in the workplace, and how we're, adding it to LinkedIn profiles. And I don't know that I don't consider myself an expert on pronouns, but his advice, I don't know if you remember this, Jen, was ask a person. If you're in doubt, just say respectfully, excuse me, just help me understand how shall I refer to you? Sure. And, he heightened awareness about, getting in front of an audience saying, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not everybody in that audience considers themselves either a lady or a gentleman. It's so interesting. Our guests have shed light on things that are just useful to know. What does Mary have to say?
Let's not forget the famous phrases of 2020, 2021. Can you see my screen? Sorry, today's a lawn day and you're on mute.
Mary, you're so right about that. You're so right. Oh my gosh. And Anna has something.
Since they need a piano in their lobby. I did play piano for our staff at our holiday party in Zoom. That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. There are things that, even if we've known each other for a long time, our coworkers, there are definitely things we learned about each other during the pandemic that we didn't know, that we didn't have a need to know. And our virtual space. My son, Adam, who was a guest on this show. Oh, did you invite Adam to the show?
I did.
Oh, that's great. He was telling me that with his company, so at the beginning of the pandemic, many companies gave assistants, gave the staff like $500. That seemed to be an average to go buy a new desk chair, to go get lighting, to go make yourself comfortable at your home office. Adam told me this week that his company announced that they're giving everyone another $500. Since they're going to be continuing to work at home, they wanted to make it even easier. So that means new earbuds and a new monitor, I think. But it's not only the money, it's an acknowledgement that this has not been easy. And I think that's super cool. So if you like that idea, take that straight back to your leaders. You got to see all the pets. Yeah, Anna. And now some companies, of course, are going back, and I'm hearing, I can't remember who it was. They're bringing, I think Lucy Brazier. They now have an office dog.
Yes.
Did you see that? They now have an office dog in there. Yes. Yeah. So we're at the half hour. I want to express great gratitude to all of you for coming back week after week. Brian Cornett is wishing everyone a happy Pesach for our Jewish friends, and happy Easter to those who celebrate Easter. I thought to end today's show, our finale show, with one of my favorite quotes. I used it for many years. And Stacy Pinkerton is with us. Hi, Stacy. So great to have you here. Stacy's going to be a guest on Staff Matters too. So I want to share a quote from Marianne Williamson. And it was made famous not only by her, but also by Nelson Mandela. And I use it often in our workshops. And I want to share it as a way to give you courage to do what you need to do, to have the career you want, to have the life you want, to have the office chair you want. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. So, my friends, as you go on with your day and in your work, I'm sharing with you that what I'm observing are leaders and executives who are still figuring this thing out And I don't want you to shrink so that they won't feel insecure. If you see something, step up, raise your hand, offer a suggestion, say, I have something on my mind. Can I share it? Okay. Megan, Sandy, all of you. Oh, so great having you here. Please urge others to watch the free episodes that are on my YouTube channel and subscribe in the process. And I hope you'll consider joining us in the Staff Matters community. Jen, if you could put up the scroll. So we will begin next Thursday, April 14th. I'm sure there will be bumps along the way, and I'm just asking for grace and for understanding as we figure it out, our team. The goal is sincere, and that is to offer resources that actually matter, that give you information that you can take back to your leaders that could make a difference, that could make things better. Because I honestly don't think we've ever had a better time, a better opportunity to fix what's broken. And there's still a lot that's broken out there. We could go on for another half hour naming the things that are broken, but we're going to work hard to fix them. I know that there's no way any one person can do it. So we have to come together to do that. And in Staff Matters, it's not only going to be assistants. We already have some recruiters lined up, registered, and a few leaders. I want HR. We've got HR in there as well. We need to bring us together to have this conversation. So, Jen, do you have any final thoughts for us today?
It's been great, and I look forward to seeing so many of you on the other side next Thursday, so we can all have this wonderful conversation and keep connected. Yeah. And I share the coupon code Staff Matters 20 to save 20%.
20%. So the prices, we're pricing at $25 a month, $275 a year, and you get 20% off of those prices, and then $475 if you want to join me for a lifetime. However long that will mean. Robert Sanders, thank you so much for always being there behind the scenes. And one of these, I think on Staff Matters, you're coming up to the front here. Oh, Shelley Berman-Rubera, so great having you here and having our backs. Thank you, Shelley. And Jen Wilner, thanks for saying yes to me when I asked you about my crazy idea about doing a show every week where we could just talk about what's burning and what's on our minds. So
it's in my honor.
I thank each and every one of you for being here. See you on the other side. And please do refer information that matters. If it matters to you, chances are it's going to matter to somebody else. And if we can help our Ukrainian assistant, let us do that. And let us hope and pray that this war is over very soon so that we can get on to the work of repair.
Absolutely.
So wishing you safety and good health, and mainly having careers that soar, and I want to help. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Be well.
Thank you.